Let me know which one you like. Oh.
Okay. I'm gonna fuck around and make some together.
Well, one's got peppers and ain't really spicy.
It is because of this.
I mean, it has jalapenos.
Suddenly,
But is that fresh jalapenos? But see, fresh jalapenos don't hit the same. Like.
Right, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Spicy is this one. Just, maybe just a little. I'm not
between the physical
Exactly.
and beyond the physical.
Yes, they are fresh
Though you
jalapenos.
have the compulsiveness of the physical, you also have the consciousness
These
of
are the fresh
being more
cut.
than
Yeah, fresh.
Yeah.
Fresh don't have that kind of kick, but they have it. It's like a spicy bell pepper.
Yes.
Oh, I can't lock my
Just know it's
phone.
coming. If it didn't hit you right now, it's gonna come. So.
Oh, this is okay. So we got 14 minutes before we start the book club for real.
Okay.
But I do want to do the sadhana in the. Is it the third chapter, where he's talking about eating your food and just being involved with that and just focusing on that. And so for this next 15 minutes, we'll just start at 3:01.
Okay.
So for the next 15 minutes, we'll just be in the silence and just let me let it play the sadhana so that we can
there are two
be on the
basic
same
forces
page. And I
within
like the
you.
little chimes
Most people see as being in conflict.
that come with it.
One is the instinct of self will mean a
see.
perpetual
Yeah.
division of this existence, part of a daily miracle.
I'll just read it. It's gonna be too hard for me to find it in the.
Yeah, because it runs on together, so it's harder to cut it.
It's hard to find.
It's not broken, yeah.
Yeah. That's not it. Oh, okay.
Look in the description.
I got it. I found
I'm
it.
saying if you look in the description.
Yeah, that in the description don't say nothing.
It don't say nothing.
That's the description. It don't say.
Must be a different.
So the sadhana says, don't simply believe what you are reading. The only way to find out whether something is true or untrue is to experiment with it. Stop the internal debate and simply put it to test. The yogic path is not a path of inherent belief. It is the path of experiment. Here's a practical way to begin. When you have your next meal, don't talk to anyone around you for the first 15 minutes. Just be an active, conscious response to the food that you eat, the air that you breathe, the water that you drink. As I have said earlier, your entire system is responding anyway. Just become conscious of it. This apple, this carrot, this piece of bread, don't take them lightly. If you do not eat for a couple of days, you won't think about God. You will only think about food. This is what is nourishing you and making your life right now. This is the very substance of your body. Respond to food absolutely with total attention. This fruit, this egg, this bread, this vegetable, they are all a part of life themselves, but they are willing to become you. Would you be willing to do this for anyone? You are not willing to lose your identity and merge into anyone. You are not even willing to surrender your little finger for someone else. Momentarily, you surrender just a little, usually when you need something. Your love affairs are the product of very calculated surrender. But food, which is a life unto itself, gives itself up completely to become a part of you. Later, without even uttering the sentence aloud, take the simple idea: my responsibility is limitless. If I am willing, I can respond to everything, into the entire day. Be conscious of it until the last moment before you fall asleep, and remind yourself of it the first thing when you wake up. If you sustain this awareness of your limitless nature for just 1 full minute, you will achieve a tremendous transformation. A minute may seem very simple, but you will see it will take a certain level of application to arrive at this. Just 1 minute can elevate you to a different dimension of experience and function. Right now, your awareness is erratic. This moment you are aware of, the next moment you are gone. It is okay. Every hour, remind yourself. Experiment with this awareness. Allow it to deepen and see what happens. Conscious response brings you to a profound and enduring statement of connectedness with life, not as an idea or an emotion, but life as life is. In this willing, active involvement with life, you are embraced by it, and that embrace takes you to the very source of creation. This is all it takes to touch the Creator, just willingness, nothing else. So for these next 15 minutes, 3:05, we'll start, but just, go into your food, go into your body, go into your consciousness.
Shit scared me. Water waste on my foot. I know when something touch me.
Right.
With the applesauce. Apple and peach sauce. That's for grown people too.
What's the difference between the guacamoles?
Okay, the mild one is in the white tray,
Ooh.
and the other one is spicy.
Oh, wow. It's spicy, spicy.
Yeah, it has jalapenos.
Oh, no, nobody.
Oh, yeah, they're not spicy. They're not that spicy.
It ain't that
It's not-
spicy.
It ain't that spicy, really not.
You know what I'm saying?
It's just those people
Bro, you
who-
I'm
like
saying
hot
though, bro,
shit,
it's
bro. I
really
don't
not
like hot
spicy. Like it's not even light spicy.
I only put 3 jalapenos in there because I
Three?
didn't know. Yeah. Normally, I'll blend the jalapenos
I can
in the
eat jerk
cilantro.
chicken.
Just, I know
So
jerk
the
chicken is
cilantro
spicy
gets the
though.
juices with the
Especially if you make it right. Jerk chicken is
jalapenos.
spicy as hell.
Try to
Like
separate
this.
it.
I mean, it's good.
I get the curry.
Milder than Now I gotta find somebody to
It's-
get
yeah, the
me.
curry not that spicy to me.
I have never had. I mean, I would. I not want to have some,
What?
but I want it right.
What, jerk chicken?
Yes.
Yeah. It
So
is
you never
spicy.
had jerk chicken before?
It's-
It be
it's
so good. My
busting
lip
up.
is
It
gonna
is.
be
You
from
know,
the top.
we're quote unquote. You know, I'm California. I've been up in California for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and if I had some up there, it probably wasn't real. You know, it probably
Yeah.
was something else.
Yeah. Yeah, that jerk chicken sauce look like barbecue sauce. It's not real.
Jerk chicken is what?
I said if that jerk chicken sauce look like barbecue sauce, it's not real.
Really? That's how you tell the difference, huh?
Mm-hmm. If it's jerk chicken sauce, it's gonna look sauced up. Like it's gonna look like just
Okay.
herbs and stuff, and it's not
Okay.
gonna be no smooth texture. Like that.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, it's not like it don't look like regular hot wings or nothing like that.
Okay.
Who can
Almost
eat
like
this here?
Okay.
you know, like kind of like how they do like the Cajun rubbed,
Mm-hmm.
kind of like that, but it's saucier. But
Okay.
so it's not.
Okay. Just like
I don't
everybody,
like caught me off guard.
everybody does their
I like the way you think.
crab boils.
You beat me
Yeah.
to it.
You know, I just can't eat. I mean, it depends on it. I just can't eat everybody seafood because everybody don't like to wash the food and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You
You
know?
definitely be washed and clean.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Just like gumbo.
Mm-hmm.
People tell me to go help yourself. Oh, too much stuff floating at the top. I ain't gonna do it. I ain't gonna be able to do it. Mm.
This is some good guacamole. Who made it? Okay, Bunky. Where you at? There he was with us smiling. Yeah, I got Mo at home. Nigga. I told him don't pack all that shit.
Nah, I brought it on here.
He said, told you, baby, it was good. Told you. And then it's in the refrigerator too. I knew this one wasn't gonna be cold. The one in the refrigerator gonna be real good.
You so best, dude. Yeah, on the head, man.
Right, for real. Words right out of his mouth.
This shit good.
Bustin', like you said.
Yeah.
So I too. That girl, this shit busting.
2 shots.
I just told
My
him.
biggest thing was just trying to find out the amount of the avocados to make enough.
Yeah, I just told her, I said, you know, I'm gonna need her own at home. I don't need to be waiting and you telling me, oh, we just over here eating. No. Yeah, I need to have my own. Okay, well, let me go eat on my own too.
Right. And it's the more and more I do it, the more I get it down because it's playing with the cilantro.
Yeah, the
And then playing with the onions.
Yeah.
The tomatoes are okay, and playing with the jalapenos. No, man, I ain't had ceviche in a minute. Oh, before I leave today, Sissy, I gotta get the address for the organization you used to work with so I can get some of those the eggs. Some of the plant-based eggs.
Plant-based eggs?
Didn't you tell me they have them over there too?
I don't know about I've only gotten plant-based eggs from the grocery store.
Really?
Yeah,
Plant-based
it's called.
egg.
Yeah, how does that work?
Plants have eggs.
You feed the chicken only plants?
Plants have eggs.
Yeah, I want y'all to explain the egg part to me, cause see,
Hey, I thought it was a thing with the plant-based egg. I thought it was real.
so
I mean,
I don't know. It don't sound real.
It don't.
you can get eggs from free-range chickens.
Yeah.
And those eggs will be like, they could be considered like organic, free-range,
Yeah.
cage-free eggs.
Yeah.
But they mix different like oils and like plant byproduct to make
Come out looking
make
like
it
egg.
feel the same consistency.
is that why
as eggs.
is that why they say that
Yes, just eggs.
brown eggs is supposed to be? I mean, brown eggs are better than regular eggs.
They come in a carton?
Mhm.
Alright.
Because you know, she got me on this now.
Let me see what.
You know, she got me where I'm not eating meat now.
Okay.
You know, well, mainly because, you know, the last time I was in the hospital, I had a mild heart attack. And she, you know,
So it's plant-based.
I'm trying, like she said, Mama, I want you to
Just
live,
come
and
to
I
that
want you
little
to
chili.
live. So things gotta change, you know,
That's so interesting.
Hey, somebody
It's
told
an
me
adjustment.
No, for real.
You know, it's an adjustment. You know, she done bought me the hamburger patties and the, but she went and bought me some chorizo, what you call it. Oh, girl, them chorizo links was
Plant-based
good.
chorizo.
What?
Plant-based
Chorizo links, girl, they was good.
You said a chorizo link?
Yes, I've had
Chorizo.
those. I've had
Chorizo,
those.
oh,
Yes.
Chorizo.
You ain't lying.
Like Mexican
That's
sausage.
delicious.
Girl, them is good. Plant-based, they don't taste no different. They just, it's just me getting used to, because I want to have my chicken, then I want to have my fish. But she's trying to teach me how to eat a different way, and we have black people that we admire, mentors in the industry, in history or whatever, that lived lengths of time. And then it goes back to our roots, and they tell you, you get a certain age, and like Cicely Tyson said, you have to be careful of what you put in your body.
Yeah, most definitely.
That's the only reason
Especially
she made
us.
90 years.
96,
96, something like that. And she said she automatically became a vegan. She didn't put nothing else in her body.
Yeah, if you
know,
listen
and-
to your body, it'll
Yeah,
tell you
and
what
I
to do.
listen to that. I've damaged my body a lot. And I'm grateful though, you know, because I'm still. Now I'm 61 now. So I have to do some change as far as the losing the weight, change the way I eat, change the portions that I eat. And you know, another thing that people tell you too is when you eat slow.
Yeah.
Don't eat you know, don't get me wrong. It ain't like your food for to run away.
Yeah. But that's
Take
good
your
though.
time.
When you eat slow, then
I got some
you're
shadow
more
work to
conscious,
do.
like your body registers to yourself.
Yeah.
Instead of like, you know, most people, they fill their plate up and be like, I'm about to eat all this.
Yeah.
And so they're already pre-planning, you know what I'm saying, what they're going to put inside their body without
My
even.
grandmother hated
Most people.
I mean, shit, everybody do it.
No, not
Everybody
everybody. I tell
do
you,
it.
I used to be the last one at the table all the time. Everybody said, Shantae, just eat faster.
Yeah, people
It
tell
ain't
me I
no
eat
faster
slow
than
all the
that.
time, though.
Yeah.
You know, so getting used to this plant-based, you know, I have to call her sometime. I said, so what I'm supposed to do? How am I supposed to cook this? Or whatever. So, look, she brought me the hamburger patties. Patties, right?
Black bean,
Okay, the black bean hamburger patties. First of all, when I took it out the pack, I said, why is this thing so black? Okay? So she tell me how to put it in the oven and whatever, right? So I do what she tell me, and I take it out, and you know, I break off a piece. I ain't gonna be able to do this one. I ain't gonna be, you know, it was an acquired taste. I said, you know what? Wait a minute. I said, wait a minute. So I took another little piece. I said, it needs some
Seasoning. You got to
So-
put some
so I
seasoning on
went-
that thing.
So I went
That's
and I put
automatic.
my
man.
mustard and I put me a little ketchup and some relish on it. And it was okay, but it's still an acquired taste.
You got to throw some seasoning on it. Throw some good seasonings
But,
on it.
and I haven't been able to do it because, or to tell her because she can't stand for long periods. But we'll take ours and well, let me retract. I will take it when I'm in the kitchen cooking it. Because we've been messing with each other, like, why you do it? Wait, you in the kitchen, you do it your way. Like, we've been having because I'll be like, you know you could, and he look at me, I'll be like, wait, I ain't even in the kitchen. Let me go over there.
You want to do it? Got it. I mean, I'm going to play 2K. You want to cook, man. Come on now. I got out 2K. After work? You gonna tell me.
So, when I'm in the kitchen, I'll take some beef bouillon and melt it down. And when I put the black beans in the patty, in the skillet, get the beef bouillon and pour it over it so it sautés into
See, I can't do all of that kind of stuff.
Can't
I
do
got
that
to
right
stand
now,
up
so.
right now.
Oh, I make it work. When it comes to food,
He gonna find a way.
it gotta taste good to me. I just need it to taste
I feel,
good.
you know, I
just
ate
need
it,
it to taste good.
but I had, like I said, I had to put my
I need
mustard
it.
and my ketchup and my relish on it, and but like I said, for me, it was an acquired taste. But now my plant-based chorizo link, boy, I enjoyed that so much. So much.
Oh, I'm so glad to hear that.
And then Bunkin made me one morning
Oh
We had to go
yeah.
to the doctor, and Bunkin made me like a McGriddle from McDonald's, but the syrup was already in the pancake,
Mmm.
and what else was on it? A sausage and it.
A plant-based sausage. That,
Look at here. I ate
and
that whole
plant-based
thing.
cheese.
Really?
Yeah, we
Ooh.
hers was a plant-based provolone
Okay.
cheese on it.
Oh yeah. So
That's
you
crazy.
use that
They be doing
what's
it.
the brand? Harvest something.
Yeah, but we
Yeah.
also use Lifelong.
Okay.
Lifelong just came out with a plant-based ground meat ground.
Ooh.
Yeah, so that's what we've been using for our spaghetti and for our tacos.
Mmm.
And then
See, in my tacos, I have to wait till I come home from the hospital.
yeah.
Because see,
Oh yeah, I'm done.
I'm not trying to
bad.
shortchange
Are you
myself.
doing?
'Cause see, I like my hot tacos. It got to be ready. You know, I want to crack them and I want it to run down my hand just like when my
Yeah.
You know, but I'm gonna get with it. I have to learn change.
Don't the state of Georgia.
Y'all finna start something, right? Let me
Yeah.
just,
Go ahead. You can finish your piece, Mom.
let me say this. What I just want to share. You all's generation. I want to share this because I'm here, and because it's in my spirit for me to share this.
Mhm.
So you know, I went in to the hospital February 23rd to have surgery on this knee. February 23rd. And I wound up staying in the hospital 40 days.
Damn.
Okay? I discovered, I went through a whole lot. I stopped breathing twice. I had a heart attack. I had breathing problems. You understand what I'm saying? I was sick already before I left California. God removed me out of that and brought me here to Georgia. For me to be in a different atmosphere, for the different air for me to breathe, because I already had problems, right? So all of this accumulated, and I was in the hospital for all of this. So I was in the best place to be. But he had me, and he brought me through it. It was rough, guys. Don't get me wrong. Because I've been like this. I ain't been able to move this leg in 2 months. I can't put pressure on it. I have to hop on this foot. So I got to do everything. You know what I'm saying? To make a long story short is what I'm telling you guys. I don't care what it takes. Us black folks do a lot to our body. One way or another. And don't think we are. Take the time to go get you a physical. Take the time to get yourself checked. You men, you guys were losing a lot of y'all from prostate cancer. You might think you're just as fine as you want to be. And you go in there and it can be the smallest little lump or whatever. It's a violation. Don't get me wrong. Because it's a violation for us too. The doctor tells you need to do a colonoscopy. You guys are going to be asleep. You're not going to feel the camera going up there. But it's to go in there to check your insides to make sure things. Because sometimes they can't see everything. And x-ray cannot show you everything. You see what I'm saying? They would give me x-rays. They would give me x-rays. They couldn't see anything. Till they gave me an ultrasound. They couldn't tell me what was wrong with my heart. I had to literally have an ultrasound. And that's where they were finally see that I have a good heart. My heart just doesn't extend the way it's supposed to because I have a breathing problem. My lungs are scarred. And see, I didn't know all this. And I find this out when I get to Georgia. And I go through what I go through. So I share this. I just need you guys to take care of yourself. I don't care if you're feeling, oh man, I had the flu and I don't feel bad, but I'm going to shake this off. Something you shaking off that just continues to linger on, something ain't right. And no matter how bad it may hurt and you don't want to go, you have a support system somewhere. Get somebody to go with you. For whatever reason. I just, like I said, I have a history and I have a testimony, but that's not my time to do that. Raquel sitting here being 61 years old, it's only by God's grace and mercy. So I tell you all, it ain't all about being a part of. It ain't all about having a whole bunch of money. It ain't all about being in the hood and being with the homies all the time. Because all your homies ain't your friend. All your homies ain't your friend. Same person sit there and smile at you, same person sitting there waiting for you to fall. I'm waiting for you to fail. You watch your circle, watch your surroundings. You ain't gotta have a big circle. And I say this too because I've been here and so much is happening in this pandemic. You know, you got the police shooting all our black men. You know, you got the black men killing their kids for whatever reason, I don't know. Get in your mindset. Take time. I don't care if it's in the shower or whatever. Go in the shower, stay 10 minutes longer and cry and free yourself. Release yourself. Just cry and talk to him. And give it to him. And just release. Don't go all be like this all the time. That's stress. Stress make you have a heart attack. Stress make you have a stroke. Stress will take you up out of here. Real quick. You just think about you. Think about this whole temple that you got. You cannot, you have a family, you have kids, just if you have yourself, you ain't worth nothing to nobody if you ain't doing good and you not well. You can only offer so much, but you want to offer more, but you can't because you're not ready. So I'm said enough. I'm sorry. My bad. I just needed to. I'm sorry.
I thank you. I appreciate you, Sharon.
Thank you.
I'm so happy to have you here.
Thank you.
You have no idea. And I'm over here about to cry too because, you know, like, this is literally the whole reason that I do this.
It's a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
I got you. Don't start.
And sometimes I get discouraged and like overwhelmed because you're right. It is so much that each of us, you know, want to give. I love my people. And it's so important for me that things change.
And I'm going to say this too, like you said, you feel so. When you get in that point where you said you feel you're over here, let me tell you, you can't help everybody. Because everybody don't want to be helped.
Yeah.
And at that time you wasting all this and they just, you know what I mean? When you get overwhelmed, sweetheart, that's when you stop. No matter where you at. I don't even care if you in your car, pull over in the freeway and pull over the side of the road. Take you some deep breaths and say, Father God, you know I'm just feeling some kind of way right now. I want to take a few minutes, but I really believe I'm going to need you to guide me home right now. Because I'm uncertain of how I'm feeling or whatever. Baby, all you got to do is just call. But you get overwhelmed like that and you need to cry, you need to scream, do it. Do not keep that bottled up. And baby, I'm like you. I want things to change. There are things me and her want to do simply because of my testimony I have. Mm-hmm. There are places that I want to go and share my testimony. Mm-hmm. Because I know there's somebody that needs to hear me, that know that things can change. You know, and I mean, it's a lot. It's a lot. But don't stop feeling what you feel. Just when you feel like you're getting overwhelmed and you're taking too much on, it's time for you to slow down, sit down. Because you're no good to your own self.
Yeah.
You're no good to your own self. So you have to remember that. Okay?
Yeah. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hey, y'all.
Hey. How you doing?
We doing the book club. It feel like church today.
Yeah.
So we're on the book Inner Engineering by Sadhguru. These would be chapters 4 through 6. I ain't gonna lie, y'all. I ain't went all the way to 6.
I literally just got in the floor.
Okay. So we can do our starting. How we normally start is we will do like a cleanse for ourselves. I have this Palo Santo here. I go to the Metaphysical Church. It's so crazy. I was just there. There's one. Actually, I don't know if it's black owned, but I was at the one. I think it's called Modern Mystic in Pond City Market.
Okay.
It is so. It got everything in it. It has so much
Is it
in it.
weekly or is it just on weekend?
It's. I think it's there.
Okay.
I think it's just there.
We need that address.
I done asked to go to a crystal store for her birthday. So
Did she?
yeah.
Oh, I'm
She
so
has to go up.
She went
excited.
to like one of those stores like that.
A crystal store?
Yeah.
Yes, I fucking love my niece. She is absolutely the best.
That is gonna be a powerhouse.
She is already a powerhouse. All this little energy in this little bitty 6-year-old body.
Yes.
See, that's beautiful. See, gotta groom that now.
Yeah.
That's what you do.
Yeah, for real. And that's, I'm so happy that we are getting this together. We got our village, we got our people who, will also be there to be able to help guide her and encourage her being, you know what I'm saying, just who she is. And that she doesn't have to change, and
That's
that
right. She can be whatever she want to be. She's just a black queen already.
Exactly. So I'm gonna cleanse myself and I'll state my intention, and then we'll just pass it around and everybody do the same. So my intention is to be actively participating in community always. To be checking myself and to find a union within myself. Oh, and I'm Twill. Ochoile.
Say it again.
Ochoile.
Oh, okay.
But you can call me Twill.
Okay, I gotta work on that one.
Okay.
Twill?
Yes.
Okay.
Hello, I'm Boo. And my intentions today is just to be a beacon that allows light, love, and energy to come and be grounded within us. This spirit that we are in at this moment. Let us share and be guided by spirit of oneness and love.
Ooh, that's hard to follow. All right. I'm Bunkin. My intentions are to bring happiness and joy, and to add in every situation that I can, as my name states, that I will do. My intentions are to get over myself a little bit every now and then, and be okay with doing that. My intentions are to grow in my inner alignment. That way I can follow the path that's directly to where I want to succeed.
I am Shantae. My intentions are to continue to grow the way the Father needs me to. He's asked me to be in a leadership role I did not ask for, but he's asked me to do it just to represent him. And in representing him, I'm doing the best work that shows him to be light at all times. I also have the intentions to make sure that I'm growing my circle of people that are going to make the village grow and be stronger just from the foundation that we are building right now. You don't have to. You can pass it to
Oh, I need to get some more of this.
It's just stating your intentions.
You didn't put me here for a reason. You put me here for a reason, right? Hi, my name is Raquel, and my intentions are to be a better daughter for the Father that He so much made me to be. I have fallen short from Him, but He has kept me grounded and kept me mended, and also to become and cleanse this temple the way He wants, to everything to be fixed the way it should be, for me to continue to share and be on that podium to share my testimony to the people that needed to be heard.
Light it up a little bit.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
fan is blowing it out, blowing it out.
This is
Sandy said, hey, everybody.
Hey, Sandy.
What's up?
What's up, Sandy?
She said the guacamole must be.
The guacamole is amazing. You know how long we've been waiting for this guacamole? Months!
That's good.
Months!
Hey, I ain't gonna lie to y'all, man. I wasn't gonna say nothing, but
I mean,
Oh, okay, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Go ahead,
Just a
sorry.
minor Sorry, intervention.
Sorry.
Divine intervention. So my name is Ocha. Everybody can call me O. And my intentions are always to melt away the boundaries, you know what I'm saying, to blend into that oneness and that unity, into that love, and everybody be a part and melt away the ego. You know, just do that to the highest potential that I can, and hopefully everyone else can do that as well.
Yeah.
All right.
I like that. Thank you. The
I can sit at home. See, I can be at home sometimes when I get up after my meditation in the
Oh,
morning.
yeah,
Yeah,
for sure.
oh, that would be
That's
wonderful
That's
for
what
that.
The sage and the pablo.
Mhm.
I have some sage at home.
Girl, I need sage over my brother. I just kidding. I love my daddy.
So, and then the next thing that we normally do, what do we do after
I
that?
drink.
Oh,
Yeah.
so Ma, normally when it comes to libations, you ask the elder in the room if it's okay to start to pour the libations and to call in our spirits that will be here with us, ancestors that may have gone before us, friends or family members that are not here. And so I just want to know if it's okay for me to start the libations.
Yes, it is, honey.
Okay, thank you.
Everybody need a water.
Everybody does need a water or a juice or oh, actually we can do both. If you want to drink your juice, but I do have this bowl.
Oh, okay.
I got this bowl here where we can pour water into it.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, it is a studio too.
New Backstreet Boys, you know. I just kidding.
Oh,
Jokes.
mama.
I just kidding.
That's hilarious.
Joking, not joking.
Just a rewrite.
Mm-mm.
Sounds about like to me.
Sounds about
Oh God, thank you. I thank you for this day, for real, for real.
Oh, you got your water bucket. You got some. Oh, should I take it? Okay. You good? Okay.
You got something? Oh,
yeah.
alright. Boo, you got something?
Yeah.
Okay, so really what we have done before in the past is that everyone would go through and call in who they wanted to call in. And when they finish, we'll just either pour into this bowl and drink as well. So I can start again. Today I would like to call into this room the spirits of our ancestors that are here guiding us every step of our way, each and every one of our ancestors. Definitely mine that have put this book club in my heart as a way to help facilitate change and growth within our lives and healing in our community. So I'm calling them in. Ashe.
Well, I just want to call in the spirit of peace, joy, happiness, and our great grandpapa. He was the chief of Igede, and he was in tune with the last chief of the Akpan, which is one of our spirits back in Nigeria. So I would just like to call in the spirit of our great grandpapa Agburu to be here with us.
Ashe.
Ashe.
I would like to call in a spirit of humbleness on myself and togetherness with the community. Because a lot of times I find myself not checking the telegrams or reaching out anymore, so I gotta get back into a habit of that, or doing something that I know is gonna affect the future of us. And I call in the spirit of my dad, who was a very unused spirit that I had that I didn't realize until now that he's not present currently. So Joseph B. Payne. Ashe, right?
Ashe.
Right now, I want to take the opportunity. My mom told me that, and I was told before, but now I know for sure that my great grandmother And I was always told as a young lady that I had a very old spirit. And I want to take the opportunity to bring her here because I know that her spirit has guided me to the strength and understanding of allowing my love for the elders to come first and understanding the respect that they are deserving of because without them we would not be where we are.
Ashe.
Yes.
So the spirit I call in for myself and all of us here is a change within each other in our community. And the spirit of my grandmother, her great grandmother who she's speaking of. I've learned so much from her, but I call her spirit in today because I know, thinking of things, that her spirit has been here. Her spirit is with us right now.
Ashe.
I like to call forth the spirit of freedom. The spirit of of security in the spirit. Like really embody that because I think we get so bogged down with so many things in life sometimes, like we forget who we are and where we're from and who we're made from. And to know that like no matter what the situation is, like the same power is there working always 24/7 whether you realize it or not. So the spirit of freedom so that we can grant ourselves release from just everyday stresses.
Yes.
You know what I mean? All the time. That's me right there. That's Shay.
Ashe. And then I guess just take a little moment if you want to like be with whoever that we just called in, and just feel their presence and thank them for being here with us, for doing this healing work with us. Ashe. Ooh, y'all, I feel it today. Like, it's so crazy. This last full moon, I don't know if something in me just unlocked, but I also been kind of using a pendulum to communicate with the spirits that are with me. And so I just recently found out that my grandmother, who I'm named for, is often with me. And so just like being able to get that assuredness is just the way that I just feel is just different now. And when y'all was calling all y'all people in the room, this room feels so full to me right now. And I'm just grateful and I'm thankful for each of y'all being here and committing to the book club and being here. Like, just like being here with us. It really means a whole lot to me.
I miss them so much. Like, you don't understand. I be mad at work. Upset at work.
So I'm just really grateful and thankful for y'all. Again, I'm not gonna lie. Did I do all the beginning things right? We got all our people in here. We stated our intentions. So now we can like get into it, right? Does anybody feel like we missed out on something from the first 3 chapters, like that we discussed at the last book club? Did anybody have anything?
To rewatch it. Like, I literally missed the whole thing because I was at work and just had life situations going, so I didn't really get to watch over the videos. So
Okay.
I have to recap it.
Okay. Or anything that was discussed in the first 3 chapters?
You know what me and Bunkin had discussed when we had first went over like the first 2 just like, I don't know if it was a self thing or where we were in our spirit at the time, because we were like, how are we supposed to be reading this book about this selfish little guy that just didn't have to go to school and just chilling everywhere? Like, did he really get an education? Like, I don't know if y'all were there, but I was like, how did he get all this time and just lay out in the skin, look at the sky, come back home and get in trouble, then walk out of school? And, you know, we would have got snatched up first.
Oh,
I don't know where our
What is?
spirits
I think
were
he
at.
was born in the '60s, though. Wasn't he?
He was born in the at this. He said that was the '60s, where he was like a 25-year-old man.
In the '60s, he was 25.
Yeah,
Yeah,
23,
because
25. Because
like,
that's what he's
like,
saying. He
yeah.
was. It was an era of blue jeans,
Right.
and
It
he
was.
riding this bike
Yeah, he's
across
talking
the
about
country.
school when he was in
So that's
school.
the-
though.
yeah.
So 50s.
So he had
He
to
was
have
been born. He
had
had
to
to
be
been
in
born
the
in the
40s.
40s.
Yeah.
Yeah, Saguru.
So
he
we
old.
So you see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like,
that's crazy.
and he's not from our country. So you know, in our 40s, we were dealing with depression.
Right.
We don't know what's going on in his country. But at the same token, I'm still saying, is it that free in your
Well, I
country?
mean, I think,
Your-
I feel like his family was straight though. Like,
He came from.
because he
Yeah,
had,
we said he
he
was
had a
lost.
what's the name?
He was.
Somebody used to take him to school. What do you call
He had
him?
a
Right,
nanny.
and he had
serving
to
and
hide
stuff.
out when they left to
Right.
school.
So he could,
Right.
But my mindset is, how are we feeding into the words of this book from a man from young age? And get me, understand.
This is so funny. This is
Why
This
you
is
trying to
typical.
tell him we talking about this?
This is typical.
Come on, we
No, because no, real
human,
talk.
but
It's
this is
important.
real. Like a lot of people.
Because
do
a lot of
feel
people
like
feel
that.
like that. Like, this man don't know my life. This man chilling. He had a nanny.
Yeah.
Who had a nanny?
Right, and then my biggest reason for it is because I lost so much of the necessary education as a little kid because of dealing with her addictions that I didn't get all the stuff to learn. So I'm like, how we reading him and he's at this elevated state spiritually feeding us. And bro, did you even pay attention to 1, 2, and 3? Like, I was in a
But see, what
different
got it
state.
for me, like, what made us bring it up is whenever it got to the later years and
Yeah.
he's talking about his mom waking him up for school and he just wouldn't get up.
Yeah.
But what I like about it though is whenever he starts getting into the atmosphere of talking about not eliminating the negative,
Right.
but living in it because it's part of
Yeah.
your life.
Yeah.
Right.
Otherwise, you're just being a bot and you're just good.
Right.
Yeah.
And you can't be a bot in life because it's reality, and reality has negativity. And
Right.
you know what I'm saying? But I feel like that's when I thought about that, it made me think of my video game and how it's perfect because it does whatever I want it to do. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So it's like
Yeah.
my reality's in there, and I told her
Yeah.
I'm so much cooler online.
Right.
But
And
it's
then
not,
a lot of people are that way because you hear kids on there that talk all kinds of smack, and you see them in the daylight or you see them at school and they sitting in a corner by themselves.
Right.
You know what I
Right.
mean? But on that game, they everything.
That's
Right.
that
They got
VR.
their crew.
Right.
That VR boy, they're gonna try to get you
Oh,
with that
man.
VR.
And so that, you know,
I
for
can't
me,
be in
when
that.
I was reading those first passages, I said to myself, I couldn't wait to continue to read because I felt that for him to have something so pungent for people to feed off of,
Right.
you had to literally go into yourself on so many different occasions and literally strip yourself of all these good things you had, all that service of driving you around and having the ability of this money you never had to worry about. It was always going to be there. You going off to college to change up 50 million times and going back I don't know how many times to school. We ain't got that kind of money to be keep going back to school. Like, I mean, don't get me wrong, I got a couple of other majors I'd like to go back, but all I keep thinking about, do I want to pay that tuition?
But
You know, so
yeah, but even like even for him, like
Yeah.
in that time period,
Right.
college
Who
was like
thinks
$2,000.
Right.
I mean, it's so totally different.
Right.
But so I get what you're saying as far as it's like, can I really relate to this man?
Right.
But then also to be. And that's I think that's the reason why I believe him more.
Right. It's
Because
of it. Yeah.
he had it made already.
Right. And he
You know what
still
I'm
was
saying? And he
going.
still is like, okay. And so that's why that chapter
Yeah.
and now yoga, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Is because he's talking about moving past or moving through, being like, okay, if I get this, I'm gonna be straight.
Exactly.
If I move here, it'll be a different experience.
Right.
If I get that, if I become this person, or if I get to do this job,
Right.
then everything gonna be
And
good.
that's why I said I couldn't wait. I can't wait to get more in because I feel like he's going to be stripping so much of himself.
Yep.
To get to that space, because his yoga, he says, you know, we have changed and modernized the yoga and who a yoga person is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But he's telling you, like, that's not what I'm trying to get you to feel me on. I need y'all to feel me on the rough parts of this.
Right.
The parts that you gotta accept within yourself. And it was something that I felt comfortable in, being that I'm one of those people that's always like, I'm not a sugarcoater. Like, Shantae, that was harsh. Okay, the life is when you gonna get past that and actually swallow it so you can move through it.
Right.
You know, that's how he was almost saying it, but he's saying it in a different way. And I was just like, I got it. Okay. But it was just like the first part, I was like, bro.
It's okay.
You can't tell me.
Right, it's like
My money right now.
I think they're like prime example like of what y'all talking about, like because it's always like it's such a automatic response, you know what I mean? Because it's always like a comparing thing, and like, and that's what he's talking about. Like I think he even mentions that talking about comparing, you know what I mean? So immediately you just always like. Where like he even said like if God came down and told you something, like the first thing you would do would be questioning it and researching like, was this really God? Like, you know what I mean? Because your first instinct is always like reject it and comparing and like judgment and stuff like that. So I mean, I think that's what I thought that was just a cool example of like how it happens. It be like, what? You ain't from the hood.
right.
You ain't from America. You trying to tell me? Trying to talk like that after you got shot at. And then, you know what I'm saying? See how much kumbaya you got in your system after somebody come up and take that chain. You been working, you been cutting the grass, you bought your chain, and then somebody snatch you.
But that's real talk, because my thing is where he comes from.
Real talk, yeah. That's exactly what I said. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
That's why I like that.
When he was getting chauffeured around, what I had to go back to was what's that movie? The $1 million something. It's an Indian movie.
Oh, you talking about
the one you
Where
talking
he
about
did the game
Wayne
show?
Gang, yeah.
So how to be a millionaire?
No. It's called
Slumdog Millionaire.
Slumdog
Millionaire. You said no.
Oh, did you just say Slumdog Millionaire? Oh,
But she was trying to find old.
oh, the conversation. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
He tried to say something. He said something long ago. She was like, and
Nah.
now he's like,
Yeah, I got it. I'm sorry. It's okay. Continue, my dear.
Alright, Slumdog Millionaire.
But that was part of it when he was talking about you don't know about getting shot. But in Slumdog, you know how they have it sectioned off, where they make a community of the richest people, and then him leaving and having to go out to the real world and seeing how people shoving each other, pushing each other, disrespecting and holding and dragging women around like it was cave days. So I'm saying to myself, he's had to have seen some of it, even if he didn't have to live it or experience it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I have to try to give him the benefit of it.
Well, one thing that kind of that struck me about him was the fact that, in a sense, like even though he explained it in like somewhat of a peaceful way, like if you really look at his attitude and his characteristics, he was really kind of unruly and probably hard to deal with.
Yes.
And his life wasn't that peachy clean. Like, I mean, even though he was in a peachy clean environment, just who he was on the inside didn't mesh with
everybody else.
Everyone else probably was criticizing him. He talking about sitting at the dinner table for hours. Like, that's weird. That's weird. You know what I'm saying? In regular life, like, ain't nobody
That's weird.
That's
guy.
weird. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Sitting on his motorcycle, and get off, just sitting there. Just
But then I'm even being in class and staring at your teacher.
Yeah, like that's weird.
Just
Everyone probably thought it was weird. No one's accepting him, his regular behavior. They're talking trash about him. on the low, like so.
Not even on the low.
Yeah, he's so ridiculous. It's probably
He's
insane.
ridiculous.
When you talking about he's meditating for. Now I don't know if this was an exaggeration or not. If he actually did it, didn't he say
No,
something
for
about
13 days.
Okay, I was about to say, man, you just sat there and just stared for some days.
Yeah, but even and then the reason, but you see when he finally came back to he was talking about how people was wanting to wash his feet and wanting to put garlands on him.
In that time.
Yeah.
Right, but it's because
That's crazy.
In that, especially in that eastern old part of the world, they have that
time, that slowness, everything.
Yes, to have that sort of connection and
yeah.
be
Well, the
there.
thing about it though, it's built into their culture, so to speak.
Yeah, it is.
So you know what I'm saying? As we look at somebody who just decided to do nothing for 13 days,
right?
Whether they meditate or what, we don't care what it is.
Right.
If you take time out of life for
Right.
13 days,
Right.
You going
So
wrong
looking
with
at you like,
right.
Be poor or something
Right.
like that. So whereas in India, if you just blank out and meditate for 13 days, you got people trying to house you like, come stay with me.
Right.
You can stay, you know what I'm saying? So
Right.
that's different scenario.
Different culture.
It's
Totally.
totally
Yeah.
different culture.
Right.
Yes.
Well,
Think about it
oh
that
my
way.
God, you must have been talking to God.
Right. Exactly.
What did you experience?
What did you learn? Yeah.
Yes,
Right.
bring it to
Right.
our house. Let
Yeah.
us have it in here.
And also, they have exactly. It's built into their culture, so they
Yeah.
have an understanding of this spirit,
Right.
this level of spirituality
Yeah.
and connected and divinity, and so it's not as like taboo, or it's not like this is crazy.
Right.
Right.
Maybe let's put him in a hospital.
Right.
Mhm.
Exactly.
So I
Just take him
mean,
to the doctor.
Right.
something's
He need
not
padded
right
walls.
with them.
Right. If he
So-
gonna stare at the walls, we got a place for that.
Yeah.
Or
You
it,
know.
and because it's the foundation too is Christianity here, so they don't
Their Buddhism and
not to
everything, yeah.
well it's not well in India, what are they?
Hindu.
Hinduism, and I think Islam.
Yeah.
Islam.
They're
Islam.
Muslim
There's a lot of
I think
Muslims.
so.
in India.
Yeah.
Don't get me lying.
I don't want to lie on nobody, and I don't want to offend nobody. But from my understanding,
Yeah.
and that's why it's not I don't know if it's really talked about like that level of meditation. They talk about Jesus in the garden, I think, praying through the night.
Yes.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Yeah.
But
Till
that's
tears come out.
the only
Yeah, but you know how that way they depict everything.
Right.
You can't even.
make that as a comparison.
Yeah,
You know what? But
he was probably in the mountains. He stayed in the mountains.
right. That's what I was gonna say. Isn't there a
in the
certain?
mountains in the morning?
Right.
I mean, that's you meditate. That's all.
But I mean, even it didn't. I mean, you know,
The 40
have.
days and 40 nights.
Right, that's what I was gonna say. His was 40 days, and in that 40 days, from what I was reading or understanding, he didn't eat.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
He
So,
didn't
like,
feed his
fasted.
entire. Yeah, he literally
exactly.
fasted through
I
that whole
mean,
40 days.
I don't want to say too much stuff, but
Speak your truth, man. It's all out of love.
Right, well, you doing it in love.
Jesus' ministry started when he was 30. So
Yeah.
from anywhere from the ages of 12 to 30, Jesus Christ was traveling the world, and he knows about all of this Hindu stuff. and
Yeah,
all this
every
stuff.
single one
he
of them.
knows about all of that stuff.
Right.
Honestly, but they don't speak about that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Christianity, they don't draw the connections, but it's always spirituality.
It's all spirit.
Like,
Yeah.
Once you divine and lighten and all this stuff, all them lines that
They just
we
get blurred.
Separations.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
get blurred together.
They
Yeah,
blur together.
definitely.
You know, that's one thing that my dad, not to jump in, but one thing my dad always talked about. He was like, you have this separation of churches. And he said, these churches don't want to mess with these churches because they believe this and they don't believe that. And he said, but what you going to do if we all supposedly serving one God and you go up to heaven, if we all go into that place, how are you going to rub elbows with people you don't love if you can't do it on earth? So he's like, you can't be in that place. If you can't love everybody that you rubbing elbows with just because they don't believe the same, how can you expect to love everybody just because they don't believe the same?
Right.
And my dad always said that. You know what I'm saying? I never really thought about it. You know what I'm saying? I was like, oh yeah, that's what he says.
And see,
You know, but now that I'm older and I can apply it, you know what I'm saying?
that's the thing
It's
that-
a big difference,
it is.
spirituality, because it's like it makes me understand and tolerate people that I probably wouldn't really try to associate
you
with.
wouldn't associate with.
You know, I
And
try to
I-
reach out a little more.
And
But-
see, that was the reason that I was blessed with her having me in San Francisco, because at 4 years old, she put me in a Spanish school.
with Filipinos and Japanese, and we speaking Spanish in elementary at 4 years old. So from that point, I never saw color. All I saw was different kinds of cultures that I wanted to know about. So I got to learn how to write certain symbols in Japanese and how it differed from Chinese and how they read it and how they swash with the brush. Then I got to see how Filipinos are different from from the Mexicans, because everybody kept thinking that Filipinos and Mexicans was the same, and how you know, so for me, and then getting older when I got to college, and now I'm doing everything on my own, now I'm getting to see other religions. I'm getting to see the Catholics that's quiet and okay, I can't be here too long. Going over to a Baptist church that want to be there till 2 o'clock, I got a light fan, you know, and then seeing how, you know, my massage therapy allowed me to have the opportunity to see Buddhism and Hindu and how they go from the body, from the head to the toe. And it was like, everybody's like, well, I'm a Christian, so I can't do that reflexology. Why? Oh, well, because they praying to a fat man. However they pray is how they pray. Doesn't mean you don't take that spirit and that opportunity to pray the same way you would pray.
Exactly.
And they're not disrespecting or telling you have to leave.
Exactly.
They're actually feeding it so that you stay within the spirit that you have right then, and you're allowing other spirits to be in the same space with you. So I feel like with our community and how we read intricate books, it's allowing us to start blending those lines. We don't see those lines anymore. We get excited when we see something else is going to be fed. And that's, I think, always what for me was always big, is like, if I can get somebody else to educate me on something I don't know, then that's already feeding me and making me better, because now I know something I didn't have to go ask for, it was just given to me.
Right. So free to give it. Now, you know, just to jump in from what O was saying, from when he said Jesus from anywhere from what, 12 to 30, you know, he was on there, and then he went through that 40 days. And I tell you guys, when I was in the hospital, and I stayed in there for them 40 days and 40 nights, and I used that.
Yeah.
And I went through a whole lot in there. You know what I'm saying? And like you said, you get into that spiritual thing, and you know, you sit there long enough. You know, he gonna take you, you know, and like, I ain't gonna lie to y'all, you know, I say, okay, I don't know if I'm ready for this already. you know, and you know, be careful what you pray for.
Right.
You know, when I'm in the hospital, I say, Lord, these nurses gonna come in here, they gonna go tell somebody, and they gonna move me somewhere, because I'm really in there, and I'm going through this. You know, and I get to talking, you know, and I get to seeing stuff, and you know,
Ain't no TV on in there, and they
no
walk.
TV on. And I just, you know, and I said, okay, these 40 days, and I just. But I thank God for that. It did a lot for me. You know what I mean?
Open your eyes.
It does.
He put it this out. He said, "Be still and know that I am." Okay, I get all of that for real, for real. Yes, you know,
Because I had to be still whether I wanted to or not.
I had to. You feel me?
Yeah, make you do it like that.
Make you do it, and you sit there, you know, and he still take me through it. You know what I be talking sometimes, you know, because I talk to him like he my home after, you know, really, you know, just really what we doing today. I just want you to say, I said, okay now, I'm taking you at your word now. But that's what I have to do.
That it does.
But it does.
I don't care what you got.
Whatever what you got to do.
Man, you keep your relationship, man.
And it's your relationship.
Yours. That special one. You know, it's special. You know, just like people actually say, well, how do you? I said, look here. I can't tell you. You know, you gotta bring your own. You gotta want it.
For yourself.
I don't tell you about mine. I can't, you know.
Exactly.
You gotta do it on your own. You gotta want it. And it'll come to you.
It do.
But he says that.
Be careful. Yeah.
He really says that in that meditation he did. That was the part when, God, was he up in the tree? Or he went to a tree spot and he was
he was just sitting in the tree.
Right. And that for me, I felt like he was trying to say in his own way that he was being one with the tree, and how the earth and and how God moved the earth and fed it through him for him to feel everything the tree would feel, from the break off from the leaves to the branches that had to sway just to stay on the root and the limb of the tree. But it's almost bringing you all the way back to you and your foundation of you, because pieces of you get broken off. You have leaves that break off of you, whether it be emotional, whether it be frustration or anger, and then how do you bring all of that back to the body and the tree stump that's still standing? Because that's gonna still be there tomorrow and the next day. And I felt like when he was swaying, he was almost in his own self saying, okay, I'm breaking off this part, and my family's breaking this part off, and my teacher thinks I'm, and then breaking this, but I still gotta come back. Because I still gotta go through it, and I still gotta put it back out there in the world.
Yeah, and I think it's also interesting that he had these moments in his life, and you can also see, like, a little bit later he'll talk about how he goes into these endeavors, like how he became a successful chicken farmer.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because he's like, oh, okay, they telling me I need to do something with myself, let me do something with myself.
Right.
And then he said he only spent 4 hours a day towards whatever that was.
Right.
But the majority of his day was so that he could do what he wanted to do. Which is fucking swaying in the damn
tree. Right.
But being rooted and
The tree
connected.
did so much for him, though.
Right.
And the tree, because it put him, just like she was saying, like how she was in the hospital bed, like, and she had the conversation with God, and God was showing her all kinds of things. When he was going to that branch and he was swaying in that branch, it was almost like with him, it was like lucid dreaming in a sense. Right?
Oh, yes.
He was getting connected to God in that periods when he was connected to the tree, which is why he loved it so much.
Right.
And the experience, and it showed him a lot. You know what I'm saying? That's how he had to teach other people
How to
and
let
be
your body
meditative,
go
and then get
move
connected.
with it. Yeah.
That's what it was about. It was about getting connected.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
I know, because then even in the sadhana that I read, and he said that this food gives itself to become a part of us.
Yes.
When I read that for the first time, I said, oh my God.
deep. It's so deep.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you know you are what you eat, but like to look at it in that fashion, that we are all just energy. And this piece of energy decided to come back as a fruit, just to nourish whatever is about.
Whoever, yeah.
I'm getting chills now thinking about it. Oh, I'm just feeling
But but even in saying, when you go through the food part of it, it almost goes back to the reason that we became vegetarians in the first place, because what we put into it is also what we give out. Not just the food, but our verbiage, our energy, our excitement, our anger, our frustration. It stems from all of the cycle. And if you don't realize the cycle you're putting out, you're not understanding what you're putting back in. So it was nice.
Yeah. I mean, I like the part that Twill was talking about. The fruit part, how it becomes a party, and he was talking about how the fruit does it like willingly.
Yeah.
And to me, I think that's just like I just like to look at life really simply, right? Because as people, I feel like we tend to make things complicated, and I don't think God intended things to be complicated. Like, He wanted us to get it. He wanted us to have fun and be, you know what I'm saying? The animals get it, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, why don't we get it? Like, He wants us to get it. But they teach us to make it complicated. And so when He made that comparison with the fruit giving itself, then I feel like if you look at your own life and you see how much you resist, like, just giving in the moment, like, it's so much resistance all the time, because you feel like you're preserving, you call it pride, right? You feel like you're preserving something.
Right.
There's something there, you know what I'm saying? The Bible's, oh, I can't give this away. Oh, we even speak about love like that. I'm giving too much away. People say that shit all the time. I'm always giving this away, giving that away. But it's like, if you're really energy, you know what I'm saying? It's really love. It's like, what are you giving away? How are you not just being? How are you not just expressing what you are?
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's a perception and the way we take it in, or even the way we decide to live life. It plays a lot into where we're coming from and who we think we are. You know what I'm saying? 24/7. And I say that all the time, like, it's a 24/7 thing.
Yeah.
You can be mad one moment, but why are you mad this moment and not the next? Like, what did you do in that
Right.
time period?
Right.
They got you there.
Yeah.
It's because of the way life happened. Well, life is always going to happen. Are you always going to be so whimsical? So every time something happens in life, then is it for you? Like, so I don't know. I just think it's just something I always think about. You know what I'm saying? I just have to think about it. But I'm telling you, where we at?
We're at 3:55.
3:55. We still got an hour left to talk.
Yeah.
What was we
I mean,
just
that's all I
at?
was saying. What we
So we okay. So now we're really in the chapter about the boundaries. What's it called? This is where I actually am. No boundary, no burden.
Yes.
This is where it feels like we are. Oh, and I just.
ice cream?
He's eating a mini
It's
Claire.
a mini eclairs.
I know,
No,
but
it's
look what
a.
he did
It's
to
a
it.
Look at his eyes.
Yeah.
Open his eyes so
It was so
wide.
serious that
Yes.
he had to interrupt everybody.
Yeah.
Are these ice cream?
It's a cream.
It's cream. It's good, ain't
It's
it?
good.
I know.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is special.
You just made me want to get one.
It's good. I don't know if you have. I don't know.
And then they pocket size too.
I know you can pop a lot of them. Right. They so bad.
These ice cream?
They so good. Have you had one, Ocha?
Nah.
Have you had
yes.
them before?
Have you had a mini Claire?
Those are good as fuck though.
Those are.
They not your friend though.
They not.
not.
That's why I won't
Give
eat
me
it.
one.
Oh, I've had
Don't
them,
eat
but
it.
they're
I ain't know if you heard
No
me.
good.
You being great. I know you being great. Don't do it.
Oh,
It's,
They are so addictive.
They are so
Yeah, what you said.
He's special.
DJ is so
D is the
See,
best.
told you.
Mhm.
He is so special.
Yes.
Okay, so yeah, this is a this is where we are in the book.
Okay,
Look what we talking about. 53. Said only if you realize you are responsible do you have the freedom to create yourself the way you want to be, not as a reaction to the situations in which you exist. Reactivity is enslavement. Responsibility is freedom. And so then that really, because really when I seen this earlier, I'm like, Because then right before this, he's explaining responsibility. Let me go back to that. But I did want to pause it right there because I noticed that spirit that you had called in, and it resonated with me so much because more than anything, it's so funny because it's so important to me to feel like I can do anything literally. You know what I'm saying? And to be able to embody that and live that and inspire other people to tap into that aspect of themselves. It's such a compliment to me when people tell me they love how free I am.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, that is, yes,
That's your spirit.
thank you. Because that's where I'm trying
Because
to
your
live.
spirit is standing out.
Yeah.
Because it's just there.
Right. So I'm like, I'm so happy he touched on it the way that he did and connected it like that. Because it's almost like accountability as well. You know what I'm saying? Like watching yourself and being conscious of yourself. So let me see if I can find a place where he first talked about responsibility.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Put it in like a little donut. Yeah. You want
Put a
the
little
long?
cheese, put a little hole in it.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
exactly what they do.
It's delicious.
It is.
Count me out.
So good.
I think I like this part right here on page 5212.
Uh-huh.
It's very like, there's no, he's like, you could simply see the situation the way it is and take responsibility for it. Taking responsibility is not accepting blame instead of assigning it. It simply means consciously responding to the situation.
Yeah.
Once you take responsibility, you will invariably start exploring ways to address the situation. You start looking for solutions. And if you're frequently in this mode, your ability to craft your life's situations will keep enhancing itself.
Yeah.
I like that a lot.
That is, and right before that, on 51, I found it when he first dropped it. But he says it is time to reclaim for ourselves the extraordinary, transformative power of a single word. responsibility. Apply it to your life and watch the magic unfold. Let us settle what we mean by the word at the start. Responsibility. Responsibility is a much misunderstood term. It has been used so widely and indiscriminately that it has lost much of its inner voltage. Responsibility does not mean taking on the burdens of the world. It does not mean accepting blame for things you have done or not done. It does not mean living in a state of perpetual guilt. Responsibility simply means your ability to respond. If you decide I am responsible, you will have the ability to respond. If you decide I am not responsible, you will not have the ability to respond. It is as simple as that. All it requires is for you to realize that you are responsible for all that you are and all that you are not. All that may happen to you and all that may not happen to you. It is not a mind game.
I was blown away when I read that. I actually have dots next to it. Because it's basically like, all right, well, whatever happens is you were the creator.
Right.
That's it. Like, whatever the outcome is, whatever the moment is, like, you brought this on yourself. You're the creator.
That's their responsibility.
Yeah. Like, that's where input and output are one of the same.
Yeah. You take full control over your life.
Yeah.
When you stop deciding to put blame towards the outside, no matter what it may be, and just take it all in for yourself, then it's like at that point in time, how do you not become
God.
one, become God?
Yeah. I had an aha moment while I was driving down here. So you know it's a 45-minute drive, so I just want to pat myself on the back for taking this drive.
I appreciate it.
Did you breaking boundaries?
Right. Constantly.
The world traveler.
God, silly.
So let me tell you what happened. Because while 12 was reading, I was like, okay, so I needed to have that connection come through for me to really embody what you just read, which I've read so many times and listened to on YouTube. So yesterday, I met an amazing. Is this recording?
Yes.
You don't want to talk about it anymore?
Okay.
Well.
Basically, I received an opportunity.
Nice.
And I was about to be like, no, I can't do it. And I started telling myself all the reasons why I can't do it. I mean, I had a
list.
Don't
we always make those?
Oh, it was colorful, sis.
Yeah.
And so, I, as one of them were rattling through, I was like, wait a minute, shut up. Come on now. Like, I had to start pulling out some of the amazing things I've done and accomplished on account of leaning into trust and patience. I was like, this thing just kind of fell in my lap. Why am I
fighting it?
Why am I experiencing this much aversion? What's on the other side of this experience that I am afraid of? And so like that whole dialogue encouraged me to get off that hamster wheel and to just really pay attention to how I was contributing to my own downfall. Like self-imposed restrictions.
Who even said all of this? You're the only one who ever said.
Right.
Nobody else told me none of what I said. Like none of it. In fact, people tell me the opposite. So I'm just like, okay. Yeah. So when you read that passage just now, I was able to like fully see the alignment. Whatever our input is equal to our output. Simple.
Period.
Nobody's
it's not
fault.
even.
Like whatever happened to you, it's all you. That's why I really applaud when I hear the underdog story and how people can really triumph for some really murky
from believing in themselves.
Situations.
Slumdog Millionaire.
Oh, that's my favorite.
That's what we're talking about.
That's why I brought it back up.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's
because
well, because we were talking about in regards to
Gotta bring it to the community. It helps the relationship.
we got
earlier. They had touched on before, but it was like a underlying secret that they had touched on, and kind of everybody didn't get it. So we kind of retouched on it a lot. And
Yeah.
we got touched on. You got that?
That's part of it.
Okay, that's all you need.
That's it.
I don't even know which part.
There's only one part I gave.
Oh. Ta-da.
One shot now.
Yeah, it worked.
Shot.
And I had my sauce in there. That was so cute. Yeah. That was awesome. Why y'all keep it going?
Well, all right.
You slid that under your jaw.
You thought it was closed.
That's it. I've seen it in church before.
That's right. Everybody get the hey.
And then the organ gets
We were saying it felt like church all day.
Yeah.
I think that's why I make I like this feeling.
Yeah.
It
is.
So you're right.
Yeah, that's what church is, just a gathering for the spirits.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
That's what
That's
the
what-
essence is.
Yeah.
That's the intention of it.
Right.
It has divulged and morphed into many other pathways.
Yes.
But the intention was gathering and community and healing through connectivity.
I honestly think that's why our book club makes it so it fills us up, is because it's a collective mind coming together and allowing ourselves that open opportunity to speak. And other people are not there to judge you, but to feed off of it and even take in what you're giving. Because sometimes you can say something that in any other atmosphere, I might even just dog it out or not even listen to it. But now I've got to take that and own it because it's our community, and I've got to feed myself with what his thoughts are so that I can really relate to it on a different way going forward so that I can continue to be fed more.
Yeah, that is though. That was also definitely one of my intentions too.
Yeah.
That it opens our mind and dealing with different people from different walks and
Yes.
having this understanding of the most purest part of humanity would just allow everything else to be so much easier.
Yes.
But it's like because people are not connected to that spirit, that creativity, that weren't responsible for all of this. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the difference.
It's a major difference. I know for you know, I always try to be transparent with you guys about our relationship and how we communicate. And a lot of times,
Duncan doesn't have a choice. It's our world. I'm just living in it.
he says this.
I love it. Right, it's so funny, bro.
That's the best part of the story. The unspoken part.
It is great.
I love it.
Duncan makes me want to listen to the story more.
I want to hear Bucky's side.
And I understand where she's saying, like she said, you know, Bucket okay with this, you know, because there are times, you know, now, because it's the relationship, you understand what I'm saying? And, so when I get Bucket by himself, you know, I gotta act something real quick. But she get out the car, you know, whatever, you know, to see, you know,
You're okay, blow
are you okay? She went to the store. And I said, so baby, you all right? So you know, how does it feel? I did.
You can talk to me in your face.
But I have to stop because I have to make my own boundaries because this is my daughter and her relationship. You know, and at one point I had overstepped it, so I promised her I would go, but I said, quit asking how you do it. So, how you feel it? You know?
That's it.
Well,
I'm
you
so
know,
funny.
and then you are But we had also discussed about like the relationships in the book before this.
Yeah.
So I think that has created a different even feeling when it does come to like people asking or like overstepping boundaries.
Right.
Because
it's
it's
not
like
that anymore.
it
Yeah.
doesn't feel that way
Right.
anymore, right? It just feels like I'm really checking on you. I really want to.
And he's taking this, it's coming from love, and he runs with it.
That's like Shaker and Polite.
I missed it.
Well, you guys stoned out for a
So it's
second.
a part of the book.
I didn't know the book.
Oh, well. What do you want us to do with that?
crazy.
Right. His character named Shaker and Polite. He always talks about him. And this is one part where he runs with, I don't know what the terminology or the saying he is, but it pretty much means I am everything and everything is me. And so the guy kind of started running with it. And he's like, I think he takes some cash. He's like, this is my cash and this is your cash. But he was real about it. So it took all the way to the point to where like the judge had to punish him and then he was whipping him and shit. And it was just like, don't worry about these lashes. These are your lashes and they my lashes. They was like, stop, it's over. He's like, let's like stopping and going. It was still happening. Like, and so it was funny when they said that.
Oh man, I even forgot my thoughts.
Dang.
Oh.
Yeah, his stories that he tells in this book is hilarious, man.
They
I love
are.
his stories.
My favorite was when the husband and wife didn't want to speak to each other.
And
And the robbers came and it took the whole shaving of the mustache, or like the attempt to like get him to say something.
Right.
How it's wild how that's how real life.
Right.
He's standing on that ground.
Right.
Pride,
That's
talking
that
about
pride.
talking about that pride.
Yes, that it is.
That's crazy. And it has such a stronghold. And it's something, I have this sense like, why wouldn't you want to get that off your back? Why wouldn't you want to let go?
Well,
And I think also because, I don't know, once we feel aspects of liberation, it's like, I feel like there's a sense of curiosity and aversion. And I just believe that through these kind of books and teachings and sanghas and prayers will help people expand their awareness or expand their capacity to take on new insight or new information.
But everybody's talking about there's so many people that just want to stay right there in that box. And
Yeah,
So that's why you gotta like give
and then just a little bit at a time.
glimpses of liberation.
Yeah.
I mean, I know some very rigid people.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
extremely rigid, but it's like once they felt a little bit, I was like, okay, it wasn't that bad. And I just wish you didn't have to take. I don't know. I know time isn't real, but it's like, why so much involved to get to that?
Well, there's so much involved in life, and I think to get the total
Did that make
appreciation
sense?
of it. Yeah, I mean, but to
Yeah,
get
it
the total appreciation of it, it has to come out like that. Or you, like if it happens so fast, you're not gonna appreciate it. If it was just like snap your finger, you know what I'm saying? You won't.
You will.
How you know?
Because when it has happened like that before, you take it for
You
granted.
take it for granted.
I mean, you can see in your if you
In yourself, in
really
your everyday living.
think about.
Is that why it'll keep coming back up until you get the lesson?
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
Exactly.
It'll repeat itself,
Yeah,
and you
you're
be
not
like,
getting-
"Why am I
You're
going
not
back to
getting
this
Get
again?"
in there.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That was good, guys.
Probing,
I didn't
man.
realize how
They're
much
probing.
we were missing your encouraging words. They
Yes.
feel good. Thank
Yes.
you.
We love that spirit.
Yeah.
We love it.
Yes.
Yeah.
She's beautiful.
What else is
She's
there?
the big sis.
Anybody else
She's the
have
big sis.
anything that they want to bring up?
Well, I know at the beginning when you mentioned that you wanted us to eat and take those 15 minutes to absorb the food and that opportunity to just sit and relax and just take it all in. When I bit into that cookie, it reminded me about that. And I was like, you know what? We never really took the time to really express how when you really do eat slow and you really just take the time to just observe.
You savor it.
Yeah.
You taste like it didn't taste like this when I ate it before.
Right.
Now that I'm tasting it, it's giving me, it's opening, like you said, like she said, the awareness.
Mm.
Yeah.
You become more in, like, okay, maybe I need to do this all the time. Cause now I'm literally really tasting it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? All the ingredients and every, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
All the way down to whatever. This tastes like this has some a little bit, you know what I'm saying? Yeah.
So I got like each one of the flavors. I got the spicy, I got the little the salsa that's over there, and then I got the, I don't know if it wasn't not spicy. I don't know if it was, you want to call it mild or whatever.
Mild.
Yeah.
The mild guac.
So I got all three of them.
Okay.
You was talking about how it's gonna be. How you know. It made me want to take some precaution and things like that, but it's not like I'm saying Nigerian.
Nigerians.
So just taking the time to just really just take it all in, and observe, and see. You can really taste each ingredient that you was mentioning. Like every time you say, "Oh, I taste that," and then you say, "No, I taste that." It's like, man, I'm chewing it, and then you can really just see how your body prepares to eat it.
That, I know, cause I remember when I first sipped my I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Got excited.
I wasn't gonna stop you. I was like, she needs to express this.
I better not stop this.
It's so funny. Boo mashes his food all the time.
I know, that's why I'm like.
No, I've done this before a few times because I'll read something that remind me I need to start eating my food slower. It's just something that happened in my body. Like, damn, I got food fast and now I'm uncomfortable. That tell me like this, I'm like, I feel like I weigh an extra 10 pounds just for me. And I'm like, you know what? And then you think about it. I've read before that your stomach's no bigger than your fist.
Exactly.
So then when you look at a plate and you see all the food that's on the plate and you think about stuffing all that into something like that, it's like, I don't need all that.
Right.
And I read something else that's right. You know, man, it just
It could be smaller. It's true.
That's true.
Both ways work. though.
Fine powder goes into a little container. It's garlic, but it goes in.
Exactly.
Balance.
Exactly. Go ahead.
But But nah, it's just the different things that you just notice when you take your time, you go within, and you just really realize the process of how fire your body is, and it's the creation of the essence of every single cell that's coming together to produce so many little things
from everything you put in.
Right.
And it's like you ain't doing none of this; you just experiencing
Exactly.
it.
Yeah.
So it's like, what?
So something told my hand to move and scoop this chip and this. And I'm just here for, hey,
just here to witness it.
You know what I'm saying? Like Jim Carrey be saying, these are not our bodies, these are our spirits inside of a, I don't know what he's,
Avatar.
You know what I'm saying?
Avatar.
Yes, it's our avatar.
So what were you gonna say in
I
regards
was
to
saying,
that?
because then I really haven't, like I ate a little bit today, but not really. And then, I don't know, but especially when I finally get settled in this space, when I finally get to sit down, I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
But I just feel like my nerves are just ultra sensitive. Like, I don't know if that's something, but like I just be feeling everything.
Yeah.
So when I took that sip of my fruit pouch, oh my God, it felt like electricity went through my entire body. And that's why I was so excited.
Okay.
Like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I
saw you do
the
it.
way this, like,
Filled
I
your
don't
cheeks
even know
and then
what muscles and fluids was being let off, but like everything just felt like
Explosive.
it was like, oh
Yeah. Yes. And and that happens a lot of times it happens a lot of times for me when I'm in the kitchen and I'm cooking. Yeah. Because, as they always say, the cook really is never hungry because they're eating while they're cooking.
Right.
And you're tasting
and the
everything.
aroma, really the aroma. It's the aroma.
It feeds
you. Everything going to.
But for me, it's the tasting of it and clearing the palate to taste something else and then clearing it again. And so, a lot of times, like when Boo was saying that he could taste each one, like when I was doing that, I was like, something missing. Something ain't there.
Yeah.
Like there's something. You just haven't put your finger on it. But then you have to be able to taste everything else to get it to collectively taste like that one thing you wanted to taste like. It's just crazy. It's crazy. Yes.
Oh, I know. That's why.
Man, it was funny when you said you don't know what release. I was thinking like, how the saliva be coming in and just breaking down the food off the back. And it was like, Dad, I think, how many saliva glands I got? Where they all at? This is like, this coming from everywhere.
From everywhere. I felt it in my shoulder. It's like, I mean, literally because it just felt like all of this.
Yeah.
And, everything is connected.
Yeah.
So, I just felt that shit all over. Just like I felt it when everybody came in the room for real.
Yes.
I felt it.
She was really you just see it. She
Yeah.
just yelled.
That's her spirit saying, "Hey, we here.
Okay.
We're
Hey,
in the
y'all.
presence."
Yeah,
Yes.
I appreciate that.
She gave you a shoulder
Yeah.
massage.
When you said Echo, great Echo,
Nice.
definitely like.
You was standing right behind
that.
you.
Yeah. I feel like I felt them grab my shoulder.
Yes.
That made me so happy, y'all. I don't know. So I know for me, I really can't speak on chapter 6. I said all I could say
What's
about.
chapter
Oh, the next one is body. The first part of part 2.
Yeah.
Oh no. Wait.
We did no, we just did no battle.
I didn't do in yoga.
And now I say that's the next one.
That's the next one. I got a little bit of that, but not
And
a
that's
lot.
when it's and now yoga.
Yeah.
That
What
one
part you got to?
Who? Me. I got to really into the responsibility. Did I hear about this London to Bristol train? Nah, I haven't gotten to the London and Bristol train. So like,
That's the story, right?
yeah,
Okay.
All right.
I haven't gotten into
Bring her
that.
back
And,
in. The legend.
So that's what I'm saying. If,
What time is
if
it right now?
anybody else, what time is it?
responsibility.
It's
I don't
4:21.
I only
Anybody
got
wanna
as
speak
far
on
as responsibility.
You said it's 4:20?
Responsibility
Oh,
It is.
is a good one.
I like
It is a good one.
Everybody else didn't have to get a chance to talk on it.
Oh, okay.
Is it
Anybody-
responsibility?
Started tangent. Yeah,
Responsibility
Oh,
is
we
dope.
did
I think
start
that's one of my
tangent.
favorite, one of my favorite parts of the book up to this point, where we are in the chapter where he talked about responsibility. Because how you do mention responsibility isn't what we think it is, or how it lost its original meaning. It's not something that you must do. As now you have a child, you're responsible for that child, but it's more like now you have a child. How do you respond to that child, for his upbringing, and to how you gonna be an effect on his life to make sure that he's provided for, or he or she is provided for, however you gonna respond to it, because like she did mention, we got black men that's out here killing their children right now. You got all types of people killing children, people who can't even give birth to kids. So,
Right, that are begging for them.
Right.
yeah, so the way
Like
that is.
we were sitting, I didn't mean to interrupt, but like it was, I meant to interrupt. So I apologize. But it was on the tangent that you were saying. We were sitting in the hospital and we were reading over the newscast, and 2 young women, 121, the police came after a family member had called Child Protective on her, and when they got there, she had multiple stabs to one of the twin babies in the crib. And when the officer asked about the other one, she pointed. It was under the sink, wrapped in a blanket, and basically and had been scalded. And the police had asked her when they first got there. She said, "I didn't want them." And later on, she said, "I couldn't get sleep," because she had twins. And so the whole response from the time she walked through the door, from the police walking through the door, should already state she's mental. You know what I'm saying? Because you've got a 21-year-old taking on responsibility of 2 when you're 21 and ain't even got out into the world.
Respond to yourself.
And she's living in New York City in an apartment by herself. So you had to be well taken care of to be in a New York apartment by yourself with twin kids.
Yeah.
And yet you kill your twins because
You couldn't get no sleep.
you couldn't get no sleep.
She said, I couldn't get no sleep.
When you can't sleep, you'll go crazy.
Oh yeah.
You will go crazy.
You see what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
and it's like,
They wouldn't. No, she said they wouldn't let me see.
yeah, they wouldn't let her sleep.
Now that's crazy.
And so like,
that's just selfish.
Yeah, but it goes into what you were saying because I haven't
how you respond to
How
it.
you
Yes.
respond.
and so I haven't read Responsibility, so it's gonna be nice to read it after looking at this over.
Is
But yeah, because it
definitely.
will allow you to look at look at things in a different way, especially when I took on responsibility
Right.
of my baby brother. You
Right.
know, I can dive back into that.
Yeah, and
And-
look at it differently.
Yeah.
And
Absolutely.
easily forgive yourself
Yes.
for certain things.
Right.
And then that way you'll be able to respond differently
Right.
now.
Yeah.
in life.
And I was just about to say the best way to move forward sometimes is to take a few steps back.
Just a couple.
Just to look.
Because after you learn something else in life, now it's like, oh, now you can take a step and actually put yourself in somebody else's foot, or just put yourself in that same situation from a different perspective. And now when you go through it again, because it is going to show up again,
Right.
just because life is going to train you and try to take you through different lessons at any point in time, just to see where you are, just to see your level of growth. And that's when it's going to test you to see if you are spiritually growing.
Right.
Because the way you
How
respond
you
to
go
it,
about to respond.
that's going to show you just how your bubble is. Because even though we all live on the same earth, we all know we have different worlds. Because how we view the world from within, or how we respond to it from within, that's going to determine our experience. So how we think about it, how we react to it, how we just allow it to shape our next move, that's going to determine your growth, your spiritual awareness of what's your control over your reality.
Your world.
Yeah, that almost goes into our COVID. You know?
That's like one of the things that I have, and I don't know, I was just scrolling through my phone and it just caught me, and it says, and it just goes back to what you said, sometimes you just have to step back, look around, and it says, don't let nobody who ain't been in your shoes tell you how to tie your laces.
That's dope.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Beautiful.
You know? And then it's really weird, it goes back to how you respond.
Yeah.
Just like now, you know, at a certain point in time, I was away from her for a long time. So when we got back together, we both were able to respond in a different way. We were on a different level.
Yeah.
But at the same time, my daughter was my parent. Do you get that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
My daughter became my parent
Yeah.
because she responded and made me aware of some. Wow, really? You know, but it helped, and it helped us grow, and it helped you grow. And like you said, and I like that, and I want to keep going to that, and I might have her book and put it on my phone. Reading responsibility on how you respond, on how you respond on what you did that whole day. What did you do for somebody, or did you hurt somebody, or did I really do enough in this day? You know what I'm saying? Did I make use of this day as I should have? You know, how do you respond to that?
And that was the why I can't wait to get there, is because right now with us going through a lot of the things that are changing with the COVID and the responsibilities and the shots and things of that nature, I get a lot of feedback coming at me because I'm like, okay, they're like, oh, well, you gotta get the shots and you gotta get your kids the shot and you gotta have, you know, your kids should be at home and homeschooling. And I'm like, yeah, not gonna happen. I already raised one. You gonna be up in that classroom with the rest of them getting scars, bruises, sniffles, whatever. You know, and everybody's always saying, you know, well, wait till you have your own and then it's gonna be different. But it's not, because I'm not responding to what the world is dictating. I'm going off of how I was raised. If I don't expose my child to the things that their body has to go through, then I'm always leaving it up to the shots and the doctors and this medicine to cure. I don't need you to be cured. I need you to go through it so you know how to come out on the other side of it.
So your body know what to do.
Standing up strong and tall.
And so it, you know,
Grounded.
that goes into that responsibility of response, because they're responding to me like, no, you got to do it. But you're going off of what they say to you. How is yourself and what you've gone through dictating and moving those things to make it your response on an outwardly way of what you're receiving outside?
Because you have to come back and think about, who's that?
Right.
Who is that?
Right.
And they studies don't ever have
They.
anything to do
You know,
with us.
they.
And y'all really ain't even got enough studies.
Right.
So
They.
that
No,
number
thank you.
count is not accurate.
Right.
no, thank you.
You know,
Yeah.
that's
So,
crazy.
and it, you know, it's just it's unfortunate that in the coming together and the more and more we continue to feed ourselves, that society is literally walking away from feeding themselves. How many times can you look at the generations now and ask them, what does the inside of a library looks like? How many books did you read in this 1 year?
Can you spell library?
Can you look up where this book is in a library?
It's interesting that those questions you're raising, will they have any relevance
In the next 10 years, exactly.
Like,
Not really.
phone,
I
that's
mean,
all
you know what I mean?
good.
They
And
won't have
it's-
any
and
relevance.
it's
Like, I
crazy.
don't think I need an encyclopedia set in my house.
No.
I just don't.
Not when you have
think it's
Google.
necessary.
Yeah.
That's what,
Basically.
you know.
And so things are constantly evolving. I think really what it is us really approaching each moment and embodying it in its totality and saying yes to whatever is happening. That's it. Like that, when you really dissect and start paying attention to what all of the gurus and meditation teachers and philosophers of this world, like at the nucleus of everything they're saying is essentially be present with whatever is occurring and just accept what it is. Accept what it is. Respond to whatever that is. Respond to whatever it is. What it is.
But you're telling me that
just for this moment. Just for this moment.
How do
Keep it
I
flowing,
go
keep it
through?
flowing.
How do I, if I am to say yes to it?
You
How do
got
I
no
move?
choice. That's
Right,
really
right.
what it
But
is.
how do I
Like,
move
you
forward
deciding
if-
to keep going with whatever is in play or not?
And that's
really
all.
it.
I'm
so
but
each time you say no, it'll just get harder.
not to
That's
say
what it's-
no, but to say how do I move from it? Because you like, and it's something frugal. Okay, they're telling us we can't cruise line unless we get a shot. I'm not getting a shot. So how I'm gonna cruise now? Do I gotta invest in my own boat? You see what I'm saying? Like, how do I move from not saying the no, but
Right.
now finding the way to
To
overcome
still
it? To
get my
still
yes.
cruise. You know, I
Right.
want to cruise with my crew, but I'm not getting a shot.
Right.
You know, and I don't feel like y'all have the right to tell me. Now, if you have to get your staff and everybody to get the shot, then I get it. But why is we enjoying your money, giving you the money to be on the boat with these people and the staff you work with? I
Right.
get this shot.
That
Y'all the
don't
one
make
that got
sense.
to be good for me to be on the boat.
Right.
So how do I, you know, how do you move through that?
Exactly, and I feel you on that too because the other reason why this is important for me, book club, and exposing this way of thinking is because that's what it's gonna be like.
Yeah.
It's gonna be segregated.
Yes.
It's gonna be like the Matrix. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? These folks is gonna be plugged in, and these folks is not.
Right.
Period.
Yeah.
And
they
so
gonna fight
now us who not,
Mm-hmm.
we have to figure out a way to start to work together to pool our resources to be able to get our own shit
Right.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
and work together in order to make it work.
Work.
And be successful and be a fucking glorious ass thing.
Yes.
Yes.
Because also too, it to experience a oneness, a heaven type state right here on the planet.
Right.
So that even when we do go to the afterlife, whatever that may look like, whatever that may be, we can rub shoulders with whoever else we're here
Exactly.
with.
Exactly.
But this paradise like living or situation is possible here on this earth.
Yes. It's how about going to get to it.
Exactly. Which is with everybody being on this one accord, this way of being that is first and foremost connected to spirit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And goodwill and good intentions towards everyone alike.
Yes.
Because humans are humans.
That they are.
Period.
Period.
So I don't know what time we got.
Shock, you doing that just because you want to show off your fire ass haircut? You just like twisted it, turned it in the chair like
I do like that. That's jazzy. I like
chip
that.
fire.
I really do.
Everybody check out my dude.
Ba-ba-doo-ba.
Hey, but 12, yeah, all the way 100. Like I fuck with it.
Yeah. So, you know. And then nobody got nothing else.
What time is it?
I feel terrible because I didn't read.
You all right? That's reality.
It is. But we can just talk about it next time.
Yeah,
we
yeah.
just got good with
Yeah. And
Story
segueing
4 and
into
5.
the next ones.
I want to thank you guys. I want to thank my daughter, but I want to thank you guys for receiving me the way that you did, because you guys just don't know right now how my spirit is, what I'm feeling, making me want to think about some other things differently. You know what I'm saying? And like, wow, you know, my heritage, my ancestors, and what we're doing here is just, man, it's awesome, and we need to do it more. You know, and reach out, like you said, and be of the community. You know, I just really enjoyed that. But I really enjoyed the thing when we went around with the intention, and I want to start doing that, because I have this thing that I do in the morning when I get up. I have a few books and different things that I read for my meditation in the morning before I can do anything. And I would like to start ending my meditation with that. You know what I'm saying? I think that's a new part, and then it's going to be moving on, and I don't know, I think I might have to get this book.
Oh, yes,
I
please
really
do.
Really
Because we at least have maybe 2 more Sundays on this book.
Or share with my daughter or whatever.
I think especially where you are now in this transitioning phase, and like especially being open to new experiences and a new way of living and a new way of being.
It really is, you know, and I say that because coming from California, you understand me? Everybody's still in flip-flops and shorts all 365 days a year pretty much. Even when it rains. You know?
Like that sound like the place.
He said, that sound
like where we at again?
You know, you
I
say
need to
the
be
adjustment, right? So, you know, I'm getting adjusted to the weather, you know, and you know, when it, you know, girl, when it get cold, it don't get cold like this in California.
She
you know,
got
when it
head
get
like
cold, and then when it rains, the way it rains, you know, they say it rain cats and dogs. I told my girlfriend up in California, I said, girl, look here, when it be raining, it just be raining dogs. Cats ain't got nothing to do with it. It just be raining. I said, then when the thunder come, girl, look here. You know, I said, this is different stuff that I have to, you know, to just to, you know, be in here. But when I can go to the door and push the door open of the porch and inhale and just smell that, you guys don't know, for me, oh God, that is just it is a good feeling. Okay. California has the worst air
She's on
quality.
an oxygen machine, y'all.
I'm on an oxygen machine when I'm at home all day.
Yeah. She's supposed to have it now, but
God's
because
grace,
it's such a
but God's
calming
grace allows
attitude.
me not to have it right now. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Y'all good. That fan was right here.
Amen. She ain't choked off now. Now one time.
Let me tell you something. Let me explain. Let me explain.
I feel like shouting.
You
better let it go,
No. Understand something. You smoking and whatever has nothing that bothers me. I'm covered. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
I'm covered. So you guys do what you do. Yeah. I'm covered.
Yeah.
So if I wasn't covered, that oxygen tank be sitting right here, and you couldn't do nothing.
Right.
But God said, but God. But God. You see what I'm saying? So don't worry about that. Don't take it like that.
Yeah.
So like I said, when I'm coming here, you guys have opened me up to, like they say, a part I didn't know I had. I'm 61 years old. But I was so, like I said in my testimony, one day or when we're ever in book club again and I come back again, and maybe I will share. I was in such a dark place that I forgot about a whole lot of stuff. And learning how to do things again and to accept and appreciate, you know, things like that. Just, I'm going to tell you seriously, I have my room, my window is open. Sometimes I wake up in the morning and I just listen to the birds sing to me. Yeah. You understand what I'm saying? The birds sing to me, and that's just God talking to me right now. Okay, give me a song to wake me up.
Yes.
You feel what I'm saying?
I do. That was my morning. This morning, I promise. With this pretty pink sunrise.
Yes.
I opened my eyes. The birds was tweeting, and the sun was coming up. The sky was
Birds
pink
don't sing like that, y'all.
and purple,
Right.
and still a little bit of blue. I just looked out the window.
Yes.
Man, the sunrises do be fire. Them shit be man, they be beautiful.
Yes,
Them
it
sunsets too.
Yeah.
The sunrise, I think they be a little, they more fire than sunsets. They
You-
more fire.
You mad at me because you stretching in front of the door.
That shit crazy.
Yeah, but that's why I wore my shirt today. It's symbolic of our 24 years. It's been 24 years since she's been on my birthday.
Wow.
Yeah.
24 years since the last birthday she's been through. So
I
yeah.
can cry. You've been having me about to cry all day.
Yeah, you know, it's so special to me that
Okay.
it's special. Because I've been away so long. And I miss them days, you know? A whole bunch of birthdays. But God. But God allows me for this day to spend this day with her before her day, because I'm going, you know, into surgery tomorrow, and it's okay to say how old you gonna be.
Yeah.
You know, my baby finna be 40 years old. This is my baby. It's my firstborn. So just you guys think about when I told you that when I was in the hospital in 40 days and 40 nights. And I get to spend this day with her and all of you, all my other new children I got now. You understand me? And my baby finna be 40 tomorrow. Just think about that.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's beautiful.
But God.
Amen.
You know what I'm saying? I am just so grateful, you guys. You know, like I said, I've been gone, and my daughter, you know, like she said, she's already raised the child. She raised her little brother. Like you said, not responsibility, but she responded because she knew this was what she had to do because I was gone.
Oh, and to give them the best opportunity and the best chance
Yeah,
at life.
at life.
Because I wanted his to be better than ours. And ours wasn't bad, but his could be better.
It could be
Yeah.
better.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's what we're
Such
supposed
a
to do.
blessing.
That's
That
what-
is such a blessing. And even for you to be so young and be able to respond in that way and maintain your
Joy.
and your sisterly relationship.
Oh
You
yeah,
know,
because
like-
he's my heart.
Yeah.
And then you know, and even then, like, you know, and that's why these books are so meaningful for me, because it allows me to let go of a lot of things that you hold on to, because it hurt and I had to hear it twice over with both my brothers. You know, I'm tired of you being my mom. I just want you to be my sister. How hard is it to turn off wanting to take care of them and make sure they're okay and feed them and stuff, and just be your sister? I don't know. That was back when I was 6. I don't know how to do that no more.
But she did such a good job through God's grace and mercy. He
Right.
helped her along so well.
So it's like, you know, getting the spiritual time and reading over people's journeys to allow yourself to be okay with the journey you went through yourself. It just helps to be excited for the community that we bring and all the different spirits that come together that just want to love and want to be excited about the next steps of things that are happening. Because even in the midst of like the relationship that me and her have built, you know, even my brother that I'd raised had a frustrating time with understanding how I forgave her so fast. Because each one of us experienced the relationships we have with our parents differently.
Yeah.
So then you're mad at your sibling because you want them to be on your side.
Stop it.
You making too much damn noise. Wait, you know it's a mic in here. People can still hear you. You tripping.
Yeah, it's true.
But
So-
you know, you have your siblings that want you to relate to you, but they get frustrated because they can't see how you've come to a different place than where you're at right then. So then you're having to take that opportunity to really accept them at the space of forgiveness that they've been able to get to, and still try to find your way to get there too. So it just takes time, and I know with our books and the way that we read and go over individual steps, it allows each of us to implement how we got to that place of overcoming. But it takes time.
I shade.
To the shade.
Okay, GG.
Oh man. Okay, so
That was good.
Oh, it's 4:44. We
Yeah.
can't really.
Yeah, that's a good
Yeah.
time. That's a great time.
Yeah.
I had a really good time, you guys.
I
I just pleasure meeting all you guys. I hope to be back again. And man, I'm just saying, you know, hey, know your worth.
Yeah.
You know, and hey.
Oh, and then let me say, Nate's book club is on.
Ain't that the 21st?
No, it's the 16th.
It's the 16th.
16.
I'm supposed to be in Tampa. Actually, let me see. I think I'm gonna be in Tampa. Oh, the 6th, I think, yeah. I don't know if I'm gonna be here. We'll figure out. What? You just threw my plate away.
Yeah, I did.
I had guac on there.
You still wanted that?
I'm gonna get some more.
You got
I'm so sorry. I really didn't know. I thought we got shaded.
Yeah, we did. But that's I say shutting the meeting down. Not my plate down.
Not her plate.
You said I'll show you.
I'm place boy when I say it. You gotta watch out when you say it. You gotta be serious.
You gotta watch that.
You gotta un-ashay certain items. You gotta.
That's supposed to be the mild one, and the
I
other
made
one's
it.
supposed to be the spicy
Let
one.
me go
Oh,
tell
yeah.
DG to
I
come.
don't know if you were
Hulu
told.
is spicy.
Okay.
Bye,
I don't know if you
Sandy.
were told.
Yeah, we out of here.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Bye, Kendra. She made it.
Oh, Kendra made it.
Yes. She said chalk seriously.
Oh, exactly.
What part?
Wait.
Let me check.
The last part when you checked out and decided to yoga yourself.
What the?
And then why you got? Let me tell DG to cut the feet.
We gonna call those homes.
It's like I know y'all really love me, so I just take it.
Oh, you don't see how you was tripping? Oh, you trying to give me a reprimand in the corner.
You know he your favorite, so he gotta come in and say some weird stuff to you sometimes.
Sometimes, you know,
It goes.
just maybe, just a little.
Me? I perfectly know.
You're saying this stuff out loud where other people can hear.
God, that is talking me in the corner.
Let me pull that chair up there.
Oh, D.
And at first I was
It's like to the left on the wall.